Hello and welcome to the Drawing Animal Podcast with Wesley Bear. I am your host, Wesley Bear, and on today's episode, we will be talking about the bearded vulture, or the lemmergeier, or a bunch of other names I can't pronounce, but they basically all translate to bone crusher, and we'll get to that in a minute. In the beginning, though, we want to give a brief description. It is a fairly large vulture, bird of prey, that has about a 9 to 10 foot wingspan and is about 7 kilograms in weight. So, definitely a pretty large, heavy bird, even if it's not the largest on the planet. They are most noted for having a series of kind of fine feathers that run from the top of the eye down on the face and culminate in kind of a wispy beard looking set of feathers right underneath the chin. These feathers just make it look like it has a beard, hence the bearded vulture. Um, uh, there is also some other basic descriptive notes. One is they tend to be very dark brown when they're younger and lighten with age to a creamy color and then eventually to a white. This is not the entire body, this is just chest, neck, and the head. Will eventually turn all white in adult lemmergeiers, with the wings and tail feathers uh, remaining that dark brown color. The lemmergeier is most found in portions of Central Asia in the Himalayan areas and in parts of Africa, in the Horn of Africa, and in parts of Southern Africa where it is the most mountainous. So they do like fairly high elevations. But the most important thing to note is that they are also one of the few vultures that live in Europe. And unfortunately, that population has decreased dramatically. But we will get to that in a minute. As for the other notable feature of the lemmergeier, or bearded vulture, is the fact that they are especially known for their ability to crush and digest bone. 90% of an adult bearded vulture's diet is bone and bone marrow. They accomplish this feat through two methods. One is a action and one is just pure science. The first being is that they will often drop bones from high heights on the rocks below, and that will break them apart and make them much easier to digest. But even beyond that, a bearded vulture just has some of the strongest digestive juices on the planet, and so it's actually fairly easy for them to eat bone. It's just a scientific phenomenon that's pretty incredible to witness and pretty amazing to think about how this animal was designed to do that. So, yep. But this is not true of young bearded vultures. They actually have to develop this stomach acid over their lifetime. And so they actually start off by eating regular meat like any other bird of prey or vulture. Um, the adults will go out and hunt for just whatever scraps they can find. Young are actually born in December or February regions. That makes it easier for the adults to find dead carcasses that have been caught up either by starvation or the cold. So uh, that's how they feed their young until they reach about a certain age. Young are born in an egg that, of course, takes about 28 days till it hatches. Then it takes about another couple months before they're fully ready to start digesting bone, and they're fledge around 130 days. But it will still take 7 years before they become fully adult and ready to breed on their own. And in fact, bearded vultures kind of have a small breeding cycle in which they breed only once every 2 years and only about one egg at a time. And if they do breed um, more than one, the other youngster is unfortunately pretty much at the whim of the much larger youngster, and thus beard vultures tend to engage in what is known as Cainism, where basically through either out feeding or kicking out of the nest, one will basically starve out the other. So it's kind of a moot point in having two at a time, at least most of the time for bearded vultures. Now, due to their kind of rough lifestyle up in the mountains and their scavenging habits, like a lot of vultures, they have been seen as pests throughout most of the years. This has become particularly true of bearded vultures in Europe. So the bearded vulture used to be found throughout the majority of southern Europe. Unfortunately, the species was basically near hunted to extinction in large parts of Europe, including a large section of the Alps and mountains of southern Europe, Balkans and such, and in France. The last bearded vulture within kind of that area was shot in 1913. So unfortunately, the series all but pretty much disappeared. It was not until about the 70s or 80s they started to get reintroduced. Um, that grew over time till there was a successful breeding program really started in the late 90s to 2000s. Um, and so the population has had quite a bit of a comeback in parts of southern Europe, in those mountainous areas, including the Alps, the Pyrenees. But unfortunately, even if you include the regions of Turkey and Russia, where it's kind of always been okay, there is still only about 600 to 1,000 breeding pairs of bearded vulture in Europe total. So it's still a long recovery process for this bird, at least for in that region of the world. Thankfully, most other regions are pretty stable at the moment, though slightly decreasing due to similar kind of hatred of vultures and perceptions of being disease spreaders and killing of livestock. Uh, but hopefully that future will turn out bigger and brighter soon. There are a couple places you can uh, that I will provide links to in the description where you can help support not only bearded vultures but other vultures in the future. The best one is probably the Vulture Conservation Fund, but uh, always look around for more. There's a bunch of people doing enormous work to help save vultures in the wild. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out both my website, comiccreaturecharacters.com, and my books, all which are linked through my website, but you can find on Amazon under my name, Wesley Bear, in the series Crazy Creatures book series, and my name, Wesley Bear. So there you go, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Uh, let's see if I can remember what's the ending. Oh, yes. Enjoy nature, enjoy drawing, enjoy God's creation, and have a wonderful day.